Good morning. This is Dr. Lori, and I'm going to show you how I draw. So I've been doing this course on Substack. It's called The Grown-Ups Table, Wendy McNaughton about drawing. And yesterday, the lesson for the week is about Alma Thomas, who was a Black woman who was the first fine arts graduate from Howard University. She taught in the public schools for like 35 years. And then after she retired, she started painting in earnest. And she painted in her living room. I think she put her canvases on a big table. I don't even know she had an easel. And she painted while she watched TV. And she created amazing abstract art. Just really amazing. One of her paintings was in the Portrait Gallery. Well, correction, one of her paintings was in the White House. The Obamas had it in the White House. And she had her first solo show when she was 75, and she exhibited at the Whitney Museum in New York when she was 85. So the lessons are, number one, you can do art anywhere. I used to always think I had to have a studio space or the perfect place, and it's never been the perfect place. You can just do it in your living room, in your bedroom, wherever you want to do it, even in front of the television. Number two, you're never too old. Number three, practice. Number four is have discipline. And I think number five, I've got another couple of, number five is practice. Number six is take inspiration wherever you are and just do it. So I'm gonna start doing it. I understand that she used to plan her paintings out. I'm not really going to do too much of that today. I'm just going to actually start painting and see what happens. You can actually do that. She used usually a series of colors, but I'm going to do that. I'm not going to actually really plan it out. I'm just going to do some brush strokes, kind of like she did in different colors. So I'm going to start with orange. And one of the things about her paintings is she actually left, there's a little too much water in the watercolor there. She actually left a lot of white space between her brush strokes, which some people would say don't do that. But her paintings are actually full of light and movement, and maybe it's because she left white strokes between the paintings, between the colors, obviously. She could be someone that you could learn from as far as using color even. So like I said, I'm starting with orange. And I'm going to do another row of orange, actually. And like I said, with watercolor, you have to kind of be careful. I mean, if you want the paint to be thicker, you need to use less water. But then also you need to use enough water to actually get paint down on your paper. And this book, this sketchbook that I'm using is supposed to be like for all multimedia, but the paper kind of warps a little bit, and I did learn that there's different types of watercolor paper. I'm going to do one more row of the orange, and I'll show you what I've done so far. And the thing I like about doing this kind of thing is that it doesn't have to be precise. I like abstract art, but often abstract art is very precise. it can be very intentional. And I guess I'm kind of being intentional about this. And what's kind of neat that when I'm looking at this, it's kind of looking like tulips a little bit. What can I say? So about, oh gosh, maybe 5 years ago, I'm not sure how long ago, maybe even longer than that, I actually went to Istanbul, Turkey, and everybody thinks that tulips started in the Netherlands, and actually it's not true. The tulips actually started in in Turkey, and the tulip bulbs were taken from Turkey to the Netherlands. So let me show you what I have so far. So this, you could do this vertically or horizontally, as you can see. So I'm gonna do, so one of the things to pay attention to when you're painting too is negative space. So now I think I'm going to use a dark blue. Yeah, I love this blue. So I'm going to use this dark blue. And I'm loving the way the watercolor is turning out. It's kind of creating a little bit of a shadow on the paint. And so how many rows of the dark blue should I use? I don't know. What would Alma do? I think I'm gonna do one more row of the dark blue. Put a little bit of water on that. And some of you all would look at this and say, anybody can do this, and anybody can do it. And sometimes people look at abstract art and say, oh, I could do that, but they don't do it. So what does that? So what does that mean? They're kind of dissing you when they say that, but then they don't do it. All right. So we've got 2 rows of blue. So you can see that. Got 2 rows of blue. Start with the orange. And let's see, what other color might we try to do? And I've got water here, and I think I'm gonna do yellow. You know, yellow has started to, actually there's a little bit of green in here. Yellow has started to be my favorite color nowadays. It just makes me feel happy. There's a little bit of green in this yellow because I didn't rinse out my brush well, but that's okay. That's okay. When to use the same brush. That's the thing about watercolors, is you probably need to have multiple little dishes of water so that your colors actually don't come, so that your colors come out the same. And I also wanted to use the same brush, so it's okay if this yellow is a little green initially. And I'm putting it on a little bit thicker. Now it's more yellow. So I'm putting it on a little bit thicker. So that's the thing about watercolor, is that you can make it thick, you can make it thin, but if you're making it, if you don't want it to bleed, you need to use less water. And this is just something I've learned through experience in doing this. And also, like I said, you know, I'm paying to the negative space is the space around the paint dabs. And you could almost say that what Alma did was very intentional paint dabs. And so that's kind of what I'm doing, is intentional paint dabs. So, okay, so this is what, okay, I don't want it to run. And I think I'm going to stop here for a minute.